You can go to our
You know what, Timon?
YouTube. We're live right now.
Let's just send I gave them the wrong address. This is
Share the
actually
link
the
with
right.
you all right now. Hold on, hold on. Oh, there it is. Coach Kangas just
That's
sent
the
it.
right one. You know what I did, Timon, is I accidentally sent them to our old YouTube channel.
We're live right now.
Can you hear me, Timon?
Link with you all right now. Hold on, hold on. Coach Kangas. Oh, YouTube. Like a diamond from gold. You're mute on Teams.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Test.
All right, did we get any more answers? We get any more answers? I would spend it on snacks for my friends. Ana Campos Gomez says, save it. All right, Miguel trying to get that money today.
Hey, Timon, can you hear me now? Oh, I know it's wrong. Hey, Timon, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you on Teams.
Awesome. Hey, I think we're gonna have to just send everybody over to YouTube because this thing is not working.
The Teams is not working?
Yeah, if I go to if I make it eCam, yeah, that's what happens.
Oh no, you're stuck.
I know that's what happens if I go there. You can see me here.
Yeah.
So just redirect everybody over to YouTube if they can make it.
All right. Okay. We'll join you over there.
Okay, I'll see you over there. Baymay,
we'll join.
I gave you the wrong thing, the wrong address. Go to the new one. I just put it in the chat right there. I'm gonna start in 2 minutes over on YouTube. Clap once. Does everybody have access to YouTube? All right, I'm going over time. What's up? What's up, beautiful people? This is your coach, Gangas here, hanging out with you all today. Hey, sorry about all the confusion. We have not been doing Virtual Thrive for a long time. I think it's been like about almost 8 months. So, you know, whenever you get back to doing something you haven't done in a while, there's always some bugs to fix. But we got some people here on YouTube that are looking at us, some people on Facebook as well. If you can hear the sound of my voice, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up on YouTube if you can hear my voice. Hopefully it's a beautiful voice you're listening to today. So give me a thumbs up, everybody, in the chat, so that way I can know that you're hearing me, you're listening to me. Also, if you go to the Thrive Leadership Club, we are glad that you're here today. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to actually write down your name, your real name, because some of y'all got different names than, you know, on your handles, like Karen Girl and other names that I cannot say. And so if you put down your real name, here's what's going to happen. We're going to put your name down for the wheel. So at the end of this programming, I want to make sure you stick to the very end. You are going to get a chance to put your name put on the wheel, and then we're going to spin that wheel. And then what's going to happen is at the end, or when it spins and it lands on a name, if it lands on your name, then what's going to happen is that you are going to win $50. All right, $50 cash. Timon's going to pay for it, but you know, we'll figure that out later. And so make sure to put your name on there. And then also you get credit for an extra session of Thrive. Okay. It looks like most people can listen to me. We got Esa2 here, Doris A, Tame, Giselle, Miguel. I'm just curious, what schools do we have represented here today? Do we have some people? I know we got some people from Nathan Hale. We got Satu from Benson. Do we got any Huskies? Do we got any Huskies in the house? Northwest Huskies. If you are there, please let me know. Do we have anybody from South High School who did not have school today? Well, all of you didn't have school today, but South High School specifically, we usually have Thrive for them on Friday. So what schools are you represented? Please put it in the chat so that way we can give you a shout out. So if you've ever been to Virtual Thrive, here's what's going to happen, okay? Usually what's going to happen is we will, hang out today. We're going to do some activities. We'll do a little presentation, and then we'll end it with the wheel, all right? Now, here's what's going to happen is I'm going to start out with the very first thing we usually start with, and that is... Gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen, don't mind me, that's my feet right there. What's gonna happen right now is I have these 3 cups, okay, and underneath one of these cups I'm gonna put this ball right here, this orange ball. All right, and then what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna put that orange ball underneath one of the cups. For example, I'm putting it under number one right here. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna spin this around, and what I'd like you to do is, after 20 seconds of me spinning around all the cups, at the end, I'd like you to put the number in the chat that the ball is under, that you think the ball is under, okay? And I'm going to choose someone. If you get it correct, all right? If you get it correct, I'm going to choose you, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to ask you a question. If you get these questions correct, then you're going to get 2 extra names on the wheel, all right? 2 extra names on the wheel. But I want to make sure that you're ready. So in the chat right now, I want you to put down, I'm ready. I want you to put down, I'm ready in the chat, okay? So if you're ready, I want you to put, I'm ready. So I'll tell you where the ball is going to be. It's going to be in number 1. So the ball is going to be under number 1, okay? So if you're ready, I'd like you to put down, I'm ready. So put it in the chat. I haven't put it in yet. We're going to do it in a moment right now. Where do you think it's at? Is it 1? So where's it? Are you ready? I want to know if you're ready. So go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, we're ready, ladies and gents. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to start spinning it, and then I'm going to stop, and you let me know the number, all right? Here we go. think it is? Is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Where do you think the ball is at? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, because if you get it correct, I'm going to pick you. I am going to pick you if you get it correct, all right? So is it number 1? Is it number 2? Or is it number 3? Where do you think it is? Where do you think it is? I wonder where it's at. So put it in the chat. Where do you think it is? So I got some thinking time. All right. Anna thinks it's number 1. Gabish thinks it's 3. Victoria thinks it's 3. All right. Tommy thinks it's 3. Are you sure? Let's see. Come on. Let's get some more people. To share where they think it's at. Is it 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or actually there is no 4, okay? Where is it at? I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to put in your response. Let's see where it's at. All right, let's see. All right, so we're going to do a drum roll. Let's see. Number 1, Simon, check out the responses, okay? Because after this moment, nobody else. If anybody responds, then they're out, okay? So let's do a little drum roll, all right? Is it number 1? It's not number 1. No. Oh, okay. So if you said number 1, you are out. Maybe it's number 2. Let's see. Is it number 2? It is not number 2, ladies and gents. It is number 3. All right. Congratulations if you got number 3, because it was number 3. All right. So, all right, ladies and gents. So if it was number 3, Coach Timon, if you could put it in the chat, maybe pick someone. Pick someone, Coach Timon, and give it to me in the chat. Pick someone who got it correct from up above, and then I will pick them. Who's the person that got it correct? We got Morrissey. Doris also got it correct. All right. Who else? You know what? I'm going to pick, I don't know if this is your actual name. I'm going to pick Morrissey. Mo, yep. So Morrissey, congratulations. All right. This is what's going to happen, Morrissey. Are you there? What's going to happen? I'm going to ask you a question. If you get this question correct, you get two extra names in the wheel. That means you would have a total of 3, which means you have a good likelihood of winning $50, right? So, Mo, this is the question, right? Get ready for it. Here is the question. The question is, what is the difference between a job and a career? What is the difference between a job and a career? Is it 1, you get paid at a job, but not in a career? Is it 2, careers have more responsibilities? Or is it 3, which is it's a mouthful? The main purpose of a job is to make money. A career's main purpose is to enjoy it. What is it? 1, 2, or 3? What do you think it is, Morrissey? Is it 1, 2, or 3? Put it in the chat. And you do have to get it correct. Otherwise, I might pick on someone else. We'll see. Is it 1, 2, or 3, Mo? Put it in the chat. Mo's thinking. He's contemplating. He's figuring it out. What do you think it is, Mo? 1, 2, or 3? Are you phoning a friend, Mo? Mo says, 3. That's what Mo said, right? Mo said 3. This is right here. He said 3. It makes me think he He's not 100% sure on his answer, but he's thinking it's 3. Oh, he's changed it up now. Mo says, actually, it is 3 now. All right. Well, Mo, is that your final answer? Are you sure? Mo, I'm going to give you one last second. You can change it. But do you want to go with 3 or do you want to change it? Nope. He's nailing down. Mo is saying he's going with 3. Well, Mo, it is actually not. It is correct, actually. I was wrong. It is. It is 3, Mo. Congratulations, Mo. Y'all give it up for Mo, please. Mo, if Coach Simon doesn't have your real name, make sure to put it on there again. That way, Moraes is a girl. Victoria, thank you for confirming that and letting me know that. I can't tell because they got a picture of something else. So, Mo, you get 2 extra names on the wheel. Congratulations. Everybody else, don't worry. You're going to get some more opportunities today to get some more names on that wheel. All right. Although, I don't know. Apparently, we have 116 people logged in here. I don't know if is that real, Coach Timon? How do we have 121 people that are logged in to YouTube? That is crazy. Are you guys like streaming it with your family or what's going on here? All right, y'all. So, I want to thank you for just showing up, okay? Today, there's no school for students that are in normal public schools that come to Thrive Club. And so for you to just join us today, that means a lot. That means either, one, you really want to win some money, which I'm sure a lot of you do. And also it means that you enjoy coming to Thrive. You enjoy learning about leadership. You enjoy having some fun while you're learning something that's going to help you for your future. And that's what I'm hoping to teach you a little bit about today, okay? So, I want to tell you just a quick little story. Some of you know me from my background, and some of you just met me this year. So let me tell you, one of the most influential people in my life has been my mom. All right. My mom has been an individual who's been there for me, since I was born. And she's somebody I really have looked up to. I want you to think about it for yourself. Who's somebody that you really look up to? Put it in the chat. Is it your mom? Is it your dad? Is it an uncle? Is it an aunt? Who's someone that you really look up to? I'm just kind of curious. Put it in the chat. Now, for me, it's my mom, all right? My mom's been somebody I've always really looked up to. This is her right here. Many, many, many years ago, I'm that baby that she's holding right there in her arms. I was like probably 6 months old. And the reason that I admire my mom so much is because when she was pregnant with me and when I was born, she was living in some circumstances that weren't the best. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. She was living in this place called Chihuahua. Everybody say Chihuahua. Not the dog Chihuahua. It's the state of Chihuahua. Okay, it's the largest state in Mexico. And my mom was living in this place called Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, and it was a city. It's a border city, so it's literally right across the border from the United States. Here's a picture of it right here. Okay, and the way that you would go, you literally could walk from this place you lived in to the United States within minutes by crossing this bridge. Now, my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she wanted me to be born in the United States, okay, instead of in Mexico. Now, silly question, but I'm curious, okay? And I'm going to maybe pick somebody and give them some extra names in the wheel if you can put it on the chat. Why do you think my mom wanted me to be born in the United States instead of in Mexico? Give me some reasons. Put it in the chat, and Coach Timon and I are going to pick a few people that give us some really good responses. And we're actually going to give you an extra name in the wheel, right? So why do you think my mom wanted me to be born in the United States versus Mexico? What do you think would be her reasoning? Put it in the chat. So my mom was, living there. My mom's originally from Mexico, and she would see the United States, okay? And she would want me to be born in it. But she was stuck in Mexico. And so you know how sometimes, like, if you have a dream or you have a goal, then you make a plan. And so she had this plan. She had this plan that she was going to have me be born in the United States. So she started making all her doctor's appointments in the United States. So we have some great responses. Miguel Lopez says to have a better life. Somebody else says to get saved. So you can have a free passport thing. Yeah. So my mom didn't speak any English. So she would have told you in Spanish, she would tell you, I want my son to be born in the United States para los papeles. You're like, los papeles, what is that? If you don't speak Spanish, that basically means the papers, all right? My mom knew in the United States, the papers added up. She knew that if I could be born in the United States, that I could get that Social Security card paper. Okay. And then it would equal other papers and other opportunities in my life, right? I might, if I had that social security card paper, then I can get that high school diploma paper and then that college degree paper. And then one day, that green paper, you know what I'm talking about? My mom has some money, right? And so my mom has this plan and she has this dream of me being born in the United States. And let me tell you what, even when you have a dream and even when you have a plan, do things always go the way you plan them? Yes or no? Just answer it for yourself. Yes or no? No, right? Like, even if you have a big plan, even if you have a big dream, things don't always go the way you want them. In fact, remember this: the bigger the dream, the greater the obstacle. The bigger the dream, the greater the obstacle, okay? If you have a big dream in your life, you better bet there's gonna be some obstacles that you're gonna have to face. You wanna be the first person in your family to graduate high school or even go to college, you better bet it's gonna be difficult. You wanna be one of the first people in your family to have a job that you love, a career that really fulfills you, you better bet it's gonna be difficult, right? And so my mom tells me this story. What ends up happening is my mom, you know, she has these doctor's appointments in the United States, and on the day that I'm going to be born, she's going to be in the United States, okay? However, she has this unexpected thing happen. About 2 weeks before I was supposed to be born, all right, I start kicking. And my mom wakes up, and she realizes that she's having contractions, which means, what does that mean? The baby's coming, right? And so what my mom does is instead of going to the hospital, okay, she gets up and she starts walking to the border, right? To the United States at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And so my mom, and she's walking over to the border. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to the, you know, border of the US and Mexico, or even been to like a border in Thailand. Like, usually they don't just let people in, right? They ask them questions before they come in. And so she goes to the border patrol stop her, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Pregnant lady trying to go to the United States. What's going on here? Okay. Now she starts getting nervous. And so the officers, they notice that, and they take her into interrogation room, and these two officers are questioning her back and forth. Now, in that moment, my mom tells me that her contractions, which is, you know, means the baby's coming, they're getting stronger and they're way more painful. But she's trying not to show it, so she's hiding it, right? So she has this weird smile like, "Urgh." And then with all that pressure, my mom tells me that her water breaks. Now, if you don't know what that means that that's it. Like, that's the last stage before the baby's coming. And so the officers see that happen, and they put two and two together, and they're like, oh, we know what you're trying to do. You're trying to have this baby in the United States. And they reject my mother, and they literally call an ambulance, and they deport her back to Mexico, right? Now, the reason I tell you that story, when I first heard it, I cried. I'm going to be honest. Look, I'm not here to debate the laws or anything like that, okay? But I'm here. I cried because I couldn't understand. Like, you tell me this. You tell me which parent doesn't want the best for their kids, right? Which healthy parent doesn't want a better life for their kids than they had themselves? I mean, many of you think about it. The reason that you're in this country, if you're an immigrant, is because somebody wanted a better life for you. And so they're willing to sacrifice and come to this country that they don't know the language. They don't know the customs, right? They feel like aliens in a foreign land, but they came here for you. They came here so you could have an opportunity. An opportunity of what? What is the United States, right? We call it the land of opportunity, but it's what opportunities do we have here in the United States? I'd like you to put it down in the chat, okay? Put it down in the chat. What are some opportunities that we have here in the United States, especially if you're an immigrant? The opportunity to do what? Some of you may say, we have the opportunity at a better education, okay? We have an opportunity at maybe making some money, right? An opportunity to be safe, an opportunity to maybe be able to have a career that we love instead of a job, you know, where all we do is just go and get paid. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with a job, right? But maybe we have an opportunity to do something more than just have a job where we get paid, but something that we love doing. And so somebody put get better job, free education. Absolutely. So let me tell you, eventually when I was 5 years old, my mom brought me to the United States. She came up to me. She says, Mijo, we're going to move. We're finally moving to the United States. And I was so excited, right? I was 5 years old. So I was a little kid. And I told my mom, like, yes, where are we moving? Because I don't know about you, but I'd only heard about a couple states in the United States. I had heard about California, New York City. That's all I kind of knew about the US. And so I told to my mom, like, Mom, are we moving to California? And my mom said, nope, we're moving somewhere else. We're moving to this place called Nebraska. Nebraska. I was like, what? What is that? Where's that place at? Like, I'd never, ever heard of Nebraska before I got here, okay? I don't think anybody has. And so my mom moved here, and the reason she moved here is because we had some cousins that lived in this place called Grand Island, Nebraska, and they worked in the meat packing plant. You know what a meat packing plant is? That's where they have the slaughterhouses, and they kill the cows. And my mom started working there because you can make an honest day's wage for an honest day's work, right? And you didn't have to know any English. And you could make enough money to provide for your family so your son could get an opportunity to get a good education. And so when I came to the U.S., I worked really hard, y'all. I worked real hard, okay? I worked really hard in high school to try to get to college because I thought, man, if I could get to college, that's it. I'll make it. I'll be in college, and then I'll make it. How many of you are interested in going to college? Just curious. Put it in the chat if you're interested in maybe going to college. Now, that's not everybody, but some people, right? How many of you are interested in going to college? Put it in the chat. See, when I was growing up, that's what I thought success was. I thought if I could make it to college, then I made it. I made it, right? And so I worked really, really hard to get to college. And let me tell you what, y'all, I made it. I made it. Your boy made it to college. I made it. I went to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Go Cornhuskers, even though we suck at football right now. And I got to college, and I'll never forget the first week. I was feeling really good because I finally accomplished my dream. And then I sat down with my advisor, and all my hopes kind of came down because my advisor asked me a question that made me question my life. They asked me, what are you going to do after college? What do you want to do after college? Because college is going to be 4 to 5 years. But then what are you going to do afterwards? What career are you going to get into it? Now, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. I had not thought about this question very much. Yeah, kind of a little bit, right? Think, oh, maybe I'd want to be a doctor or you know, an engineer or something like that. But I never had really explored what I wanted to do. I don't know if you're that way with like me, right? You know that you want to be successful, but you don't know exactly what it is that you want to do. And so I didn't start seriously thinking about what I wanted to do with my life as far as a career until I got to college. And so the first thing I thought about, well, you know what? Maybe I'll do? I'll be an electrical engineer. Because my dad's an electrical engineer in Mexico, and maybe, you know, I could be like my dad. And so that's the first thing that I did. When I went to college, I majored in electrical engineering, and that's what I did my freshman year. And let me tell you what, young people, I had this one class that was really, really hard. This one class that was electrical engineering 101, and all we had to do is for a whole semester, we just learned how to rewire circuits to turn on this one little LED light like you see right here. That's all we had to do. Can I be honest with you? I could not get that one light to turn on. No matter how hard I tried and how many circuits I put together, I had the hardest time trying to get that one light on. I remember my final, I was there for like 6 or 7 hours. Okay, I'm probably being dramatic, but it felt like that. And I couldn't get the light to turn on. But here's something about me, all right, that has helped me. I never give up. I never give up. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I have to work overtime, double time. I will find a way. And if you have that kind of perseverance, you can make it through a lot of things. And so that's what I did. I stayed there until I got that freaking light to turn on, and it turned on, and I passed the class. But afterwards, I was like, man, this is hard, right? Like, I don't know if I want to do this for a living, right? Because if I can't turn this one little light on, how am I going to turn the whole building on? Which is what electrical engineers doing, right? They manage and make sure that the electricity in the whole building, sometimes company buildings, are turned on. And so I started reevaluating, thinking, okay, maybe I don't want to do this, okay? Because even though I got it to turn on, I don't know if this is something that I want to do for the future. And so I switched. After my freshman year, I decided, you know what? maybe I'm going to do something else. And let me tell you, over the next 3 years of college, I ended up switching my major 3 different times, or actually 4 different times, right? I went from electrical engineering, then I thought I wanted to do maybe like business. And so I got an internship with Coca-Cola. All right. You've all heard of Coca-Cola, I'm sure. And so that summer I got an opportunity to learn everything about Coca-Cola, right? Like how do you stock it on the shelf, how you sell it. They even let me drive one of the vans. Yo, I crashed one of those vans. I crashed it. I know. Hey, that's on them. They should not let an 18-year-old, right, who's barely got any experience be able to drive one of those vans. But I learned everything about business. Now, here's the thing. After that experience, all right, of doing this internship with Coca-Cola and trying to see if I wanted to do business, I asked myself a question. I said, could I see myself doing this for the next 45 years? Now, why did I ask myself that question? Well, think about this. Most people, they get out of college or in any type of training, they get out when they're like, maybe 22 or 23. When do most people retire in the United States? In fact, if we can get somebody that gets the correct answer, I want you to put it in the chat. When do most people retire? Okay, retire means that you're done working, you have enough saved up in the bank, your 401k. When do most people retire in the United States? I want you to put it in the chat, all right? And if you get it correct, Coach Time, and look out for some people that get it correct. Maybe pick 2 or 3. And if they get it correct, I want you to put an extra name in the wheel for them, okay? So when do most people retire? Put it in the chat. Is it 40 years old? Do most people, 30 years old? I know some of you want to be ballers and you're like, yo, I'm going to be a millionaire when I'm like 25. Okay, that's maybe that's going to happen. Maybe not, okay? But most people, the average, when do they retire? Put it in the chat, all right? So we get 60, we got 55. My brother's on here, Eric Amador. Look, that he's got a Chavo del Ocho. He says when you get old. Yes, Eric, when you get old. But I'm saying how old? When do people mostly retire? Is it 50? Is it 55? Is it 60? Is it 73? Is it 58, 60? Okay. Most people retire when they're around 65 to 68. All right, 65 to 68. So yeah, Eric, 65, okay? So think about this. If you start working in your career when you're around 22 and you retire around 65, that's about 48 years. We'll say 45 or 45, okay? And so that's why I would ask myself, like, could I see myself doing this for 45 years? Because I don't know about you, but 45 years is a long, long time. I mean, you could do something that you don't like for like maybe for a few months, but 45 years, man, if you're going to do something, you better like it, right? So I decided, you know what? This isn't for me. I couldn't see myself doing it. It was fun. I enjoyed it, but I couldn't see myself doing it for 45 years. So after my sophomore year, I decided to switch. And I did psychology because I liked working with people and understanding people. And so I went into psychology and I learned, the study of the brain. I even got a chance to do an internship where I did some research and I went to California and presented. Yo, it was a trip. I was literally in a room full of people who have PhDs. You know what a PhD is? It's like the highest level of educational attainment you can have. Like first is high school graduation. Then if you go to college, you can get an associate's, right? A 2-year degree. Then you can get a bachelor's. Then you can get a master's. And then after a master's, the highest is a PhD. You're a doctorate in that area. And I was teaching, like I was literally presenting to these doctors about the thing that I learned. But after that internship, I asked myself that question. What was the question I would always ask myself? Put it in the chat if you remember. Remember I would ask myself? I would ask myself, could I see myself doing this for the next 45 years? What do you think the response was? I just couldn't. It was fun. I enjoyed doing research. It was intellectually like stimulating, but I couldn't see myself doing it for the next 45 years. It wasn't something that I loved. So then I changed again, y'all. Then I finally found out what I wanted to do, okay? I thought I did. My last year, okay? My last year of college, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. And so what I ended up doing is I got an internship in Washington, D.C. You can kind of see me right here. Don't judge me. Yes, things have changed. All right. Look at me. Look at me now versus me then. This is me right here in the corner right there. I had hair. I was young. I was 21 years old. Now I don't have any hair and I'm a lot older, but that's life. And so I got a chance to go to Washington, D.C. for an internship. And I got to work with Congress, like with representatives and senators. And I got to see how laws are developed in our country. But then again, after that experience, what's the question I asked myself? Could I really see myself doing this for the next what? The next 45 years. And what do you think the answer was? Nah, I just couldn't, you know? I didn't like it. You know why? Because here's what's important to have experiences, young people, of the careers that you want to get into. Because I thought that being a lawyer meant that I was going to go to the courtroom like I had seen on TV and I was going to get a chance to talk to the judge and say, Your Honor, I object. But you know what I actually found out? A lot of law is reading and writing. Reading and writing. Guess what are two things I do not enjoy doing? I know, this is horrible. Hopefully there's no teachers on here. I do not like reading or writing. If there's any teachers on here, they're going to like kick me out of the school. I just don't. My form of communication is verbal, right? I love expressing myself verbally by speaking. And so I realized, man, a lot of the time, if I'm a lawyer, I'm going to spend reading and writing, and that's not really I'm not going to gel with that. And so at the end of that, I asked myself those questions, right? Now, you might be thinking like, dang, Juan, so you just totally like wasted your entire time in college. It wasn't a waste, because let me tell you what, I didn't know it at the time, but I was actually following a formula. I was actually following a formula that would eventually lead to me finding the career that I love. See, because we're talking about careers and jobs, right? But a job is something that you go and you just get paid, like the question at the beginning. But a career is something that you really love, but you got to go and look for it. It's not just going to be automatic. And so I want to share with you real quickly what this formula was that I was actually following that I didn't realize until going back. See, what happens is after every experience, I would do this formula, and it's called the 3 I's to career exploration, right? In fact, if you're really serious about finding a career in the future that you're really passionate about, I would write this down. I would screenshot it. I would do something with this information, okay? So this is what happened. At the start, I would always start with something I was interested in, okay? I would always start with, man, what am I interested in right now? What's catching my attention? What's something that I really am like, I don't have to be forced to watch YouTube videos about or go and do. What's something I'm really interested in? This is what I'd like you to do. In the chat, okay? I'd like you to put down, what is something you're really interested in right now? And it doesn't have to be related to a career. Maybe you love playing soccer. Maybe you love being on social media, right? Maybe you love playing video games like my brother Eric, right? Or watching WWE or watching Chavo el Ocho. I don't know what it is, but I'd like you to put it in the chat. I'm really, really curious. What is something that you're really interested in? Maybe you love talking about different issues and problems in our world today. Maybe you love helping others. We have a coach that works with us in the Thrive Leadership Club. Her name is Cristal. And Crystal loves helping people, right? She's super connected with individuals. She's empathetic. She feels for others. She eventually, right now, she's studying to be a teacher, and she's going to be a great teacher because she's interested in people. She gets people. So that's for her. What about y'all? So we got some people that are interested in volleyball, soccer. Miguel doing hard labor. All right. So doing some labor, soccer as well. Okay. Design, music. All right. So I would always start with things that you're interested in because you're interested in a lot of different things. So that's where you start. You pick something that you're interested in, and then you go to the next stage. Okay. So I was interested in engineering at first, right? And then I was interested in psychology and the way people, think. And then I was interested in law. And there's nothing wrong because we all have multiple interests. But then you got to go to the next stage if you want to find out if that interest can actually be turned into career. And that is investigate. Okay. So you're interested in something, then you go out and you investigate it. Let me ask you a question. How did I investigate what I was interested in? What did I do? Do you remember? What did I do? Did I just sit on the couch and say, well, I'm interested in, psychology. Maybe I'll just, hopefully I'll read a book or watch a YouTube video, and maybe hopefully it'll tell me if I'm really, if I should pursue that as a career. Is that what I did? No, that's not what I did. I went out. I went out and investigated, right? I went out and did internships. I went out and talked to people. I went out and sought the information versus just standing there and hoping that I'll be able to make a decision based on no information. So you got to go out, and that's why you got to do job shadows, where you go and you literally, it's legal stalking. It's legal stalking, because you literally, a job shadows where you go, let's say example, you want to be a doctor, you go to a hospital, and for a day or half a day, you follow a doctor around and you see what they do. Okay. You could do an internship where you do in the summer, like some actual work, and you in that field, and you figure out if that's the thing that you actually want to do. And then so that's what I did, right? And then lastly, this is what I did. I would ask myself questions after every experience. One of the questions I've been telling you is, would I be excited to do this for the next 45 years? But that's not the only question you can ask yourself. You can also ask yourself, does this career match with my strengths, right? Is this career something that gets me excited every single day about? Is this career, how much money can I make in this career? And is the money that I make, is that the money that I want to make in my life in order to accomplish a lot of my financial goals, right? You got to be able to ask yourself questions about these things. And that's the last stage. The last stage is, once you're interested in something, you go out and investigate it, and then you got to have an internal reflection. You got to go inside and think and ask yourself questions. That's why, young people, one of the coolest things you can do as you're on this career journey is get a journal, right? Get a journal. And when you go out and you experience different things, reflect, write down what you liked about that experience, what you didn't like about the experience. If you could see yourself doing that job in the future. See, so many times we're so distracted, right? We're so distracted so many times, and I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming myself too. We're so distracted with these things that we forget to put it down and think about our lives and say, man, what am I interested in? And then once we have experiences, thinking, could I see myself doing that? See, for those of you that come to the Thrive Leadership Club, you get a chance to interact with coaches like myself, like Coach Timon. Maybe one of the things you could do after Thrive meetings is think about, could I see myself being a coach in the future? You never know, right? Whenever you have an experience with a professional, with a teacher, right? With a principal, somebody out in the community, a nurse, ask yourself some questions about that. Whether you could see yourself in that position, doing that job in the future. So that's what I did. And let me tell you what, young people, it doesn't always come quickly, okay? I'll be honest, I actually graduated and didn't know what I was gonna do. I was lost. You think you feel lost in your life? Huh? You think you feel lost? Imagine graduating from college and still being lost and not knowing what you want to do. I remember I graduated from college, and I didn't really have any other options. And at the time, I was working for Coca-Cola part-time. And I go into my boss's office. I'm feeling all depressed. And he's like, hey, what's wrong? And I was like, man, I'm about to graduate college, and I have no idea what I want to do in my life. And he's like, well, come work with us. And I'm like, nah, I tried that. I did an internship. It's not really for me. And then he asked me, well, what other options do you have? And to be honest, I didn't have very many options. So then you got a paper and a pen, and he wrote down the amount I would be making that year if I worked with them full time. And he showed it to me. And let me tell you what, it was more money than my parents had made in a year in their lifetime. And I thought, okay, maybe I don't like doing this work, but man, for that money, I could learn to like anything, right? And so I took a job with Coca-Cola, and at the start, y'all, it was exciting, okay? Because I never had a full-time job, and so I had a full-time job. I got paid. They gave me a car that looked like this, right? Gave me a car that looked like this, and I could drive it around. And after about 3, 4, 5 months, it was good. But, you know, you might be thinking like, dang, Juan, okay. Like you graduated college, you're working for a good company, you're making good money. You should really like, you're doing good. You should be happy. Like this little kid right here, right? But the reality was I was actually like this. I was sad. I remember more than sad, I would come home and I was depressed. Why? Why do you think I was depressed? I'd done everything everybody had told me to be successful. I'd gone to college. I'd gotten a good job with a good company, and I was making good money. Then why was I still feeling depressed? Why was I still feeling like a failure? Put in the chat if you think you know why. I think you know, right? The reason was because I learned that you can go to college, you can get trained, but if you give up on your search to find the career that you're really meant to do, even if you graduate college and you make good money, it could still be a job, right? It could still be a job. It's a high paying job, but it's still a job. See, the difference between a job and a career, like we mentioned, is a job. The main purpose you go to it is to get paid, even if that paycheck's big. But the main purpose of a career is not just the money. You get paid too, but it's the purpose behind it, right? It's the thing that you love to do. See, when you love to do something, it utilizes your strengths. It makes you feel fulfilled. It makes you feel happy. Not all the time, but the majority of the times. And what I had was a job. It was a job, even though it was high paying. It was a job, even though, you know, I had graduated college, but it was a job. And I didn't like it. And so let me tell you what I'll tell you what most people do. They say, well, I got to pay the bills. And most people don't have the opportunity like you and I do. See, my mom is one of the strongest women that I know. One of the smartest people that I know. But she didn't get an opportunity to seek a career in her life. She had to start working when she was 13 years old just to be able to provide for the family. Man, if she would have gotten an opportunity to get an education, to go and seek out a career, because it is a privilege, but it's a privilege that you get to have in this country. See, your parents brought you to this country if you're an immigrant, not just so you can make more money, but that you could have a fulfilling purpose and a career and something you enjoy doing. And I felt like I had dishonored the sacrifices that my mom made. Because even though I had gone to college, I still had a job. But let me tell you what, young people, if you don't give up, if you keep searching, sooner or later, you will find it. You will find it. Let me ask you a question, okay? There's an interesting story about a man. And this guy, he decided that for his career, he was going to be a treasure hunter. Okay? You know what a treasure hunter is? I know you've heard of them like in cartoons, like people that go and find treasures under the sea. But this guy literally, like, that's what he would do for his full-time job. And let me tell you what, this gentleman, true story, this gentleman had heard that back in, you know, when like Spain and England would come over to the United States in ships, he had heard that one of the ships, the Spaniard ships, had been carrying tons of gold and silver back in the 1500s, that it had sank in a giant storm, and it was somewhere in the, you know, in the vicinity by Florida, by where he was living. Now this guy, he knew that the treasure was out there. He was certain it was out there. And so every day he would go out there trying to find this treasure. Now, after 5 years of searching for this treasure, he looked around everywhere, and let me tell you what, he found nothing. 5 years. Now, most people, after 1 year, one month, they would give up. But this guy searched for 5 years and he didn't find it. Do you think he gave up? What do you think? Put it in the chat. Do you think he gave up? Nope, he didn't give up. He continued searching, right? Another 5 years. So 10 years total. And after 10 years of searching everywhere, using every technique, every technology, after 10 years, he found nothing. I know. I'm starting to feel depressed too for this guy, right? Oh, sorry. He found nothing, y'all. So after 10 years, what do you think most people would do? They'd give up. But this guy didn't, because he knew it was out there, right? And so after 10 years, he still kept searching. And then 5 years more go by, 15 years of searching for this treasure that's, somewhere down in the sea. After 15 years, guess what? He finds something. He finds something. He finds the actual ship, and it's true. There's tons of gold and tons of silver, and it's like $1 million worth of stuff. Now, let me tell you what. Let me ask you this question, okay? And I'm curious to know, what did this guy have to believe in order to keep searching for that long? What are some beliefs that he had to have? Think about it. Put it in the chat. What did this guy have to believe to go 15 years of searching for this treasure? What did he have to believe in order to continue day in and day out, even when he was unsuccessful of finding it? Put it in the chat. What did he have to believe? He had to believe what? He had to believe that it was out there, right? Like that it existed. He had to believe that it was out there. He had to believe that he could find it, and he had to believe that it was worth it. It was worth it. And let me tell you what, these are the same 3 beliefs that you have to have in order to find the career that's right for you. That it's out there. I promise you, there is a career that's a great match for every single one of you out there. And that you can find it, right? With enough perseverance, if you don't give up, if you try things, if you investigate your interests and then do some internal reflection, you will find it. And let me tell you what, you have to believe that it's worth it. Because it is. It's totally worth it. Look, I'm not saying that having a career is the end all be all, okay? Because there's a lot of other wonderful things in this world. There's having relationships with your family. For me, my number one thing is having a relationship with my creator, right? Who I choose to call God. Like, that is my ultimate thing in life. But let me tell you what, having a career is one of those highlights of life. It's one of the fruits of life. I've had the privilege to do what I love now, to work with young people just like you through the Thrive Leadership Club and go around the country and speak to others. And let me tell you what, I hope you can hear it in my voice. It's an indescribable feeling when you're doing something you love and you get paid for it and people value it, and it utilizes your strengths and it utilizes you, and you feel fulfilled from doing it and not drained like a job. It's something I wish every single person could experience, because once you experience it, you can't ever go back. And so let me tell you what, young people, I didn't stop. I kept searching just like this man, even though I had graduated college. And let me tell you what, I went to this conference and I met this gentleman by the name of Ernesto Mejia. Notice how you got to be careful who you hang out with, because before I met this man, notice 2 things about it, okay? Notice this picture right here. I had hair and he did not. When I first met him, I had hair and he did not. And this gentleman, when I first met him at a conference, and he was speaking to young people. And let me tell you what, he was like the best educator, presenter I'd ever seen in my life. And afterwards, I really wanted to go and ask him, like, hey, how did he do this, right? How did he get this career? And I was really shy, and I didn't know if he was going to reject me. But let me tell you what, young people, you got to ask the questions. You got to go and seek. You got to take risks. And so I got myself, enough courage to go up to him. I introduced myself. I shook his hand. I looked him in the eye, and I said, hey, how can I do what you do? See, most of us are too scared to ask questions of professionals, of adults. And until you overcome that fear, you're not going to get the answers that you want. And let me tell you what, that one question changed everything. Because later on, he took me on as a mentee, and he's taught me so many things. And I've learned from a lot of other people, but he was one of the main individuals. So continue to ask those questions. Continue to seek, right? Continue to do the 3 things as you're on this journey to try to find a fulfilling career. In fact, let's do this. If you can remember, Coach Timon, anybody who can remember this, they get 1 extra name in the wheel, all right? Actually, let's do this. The first 3 people, because everybody else is going to copy. The first 3 people, Coach Timon, that write it in the chat, the response to my question, they get 1 extra name in the wheel, okay? What are the 3 I's that I taught you to explore a career? What are the 3 I's? Remember I told you? You got to start here, then you got to start here, and then you got to end here after every experience. What is it? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat, and then if you get it correct, the first 3 people, you're going to get extra name because we're about to do the wheel. We are about to do the wheel, all right? So put it in there. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. I'm gonna bring out the wheel right now, y'all. I'm gonna put a little timer. Give me 1 minute to set up the wheel, and I'm gonna come back. Do not leave, because if we call your name and you're not here, you don't get the $50, right? Yep. So what are the 3 I's for career exploration? If you put it on there, the first 3 people, you're gonna get 50, or you're gonna get 1 name in the wheel for the $50, right? Give me 1 minute to set up the wheel. All right, so here it is, y'all. I got the wheel right here. I got it here. I got it with all your names on there. Again, this is actually only going to be for the Thrive Leadership Club, y'all, okay? Because I don't even know. Apparently, we have about 18 people watching here, right? All right, so this was going to happen, y'all. I'm going to spin this wheel. If it lands on your name, you got to claim it within 30 seconds. All right. And if you claim it, let us know. Just stay afterwards. Let us know what school you go to, and then we'll make sure to bring it to you. Right. So with that said, let's do this. Spin that wheel. Anna, you have won. Congratulations, Anna. Anna, are you here? Are you here, Anna? You got 30 seconds, Anna, to put it in the chat. I am here. I am here. I am here. Are you here? Are you here? All right, Anna. If you're here, Anna, put it in the chat. We're going once. Going twice. Anna is here. Congratulations, Anna. All right, Anna, please let us know what school you attend, so that way when we go to Thrive, we can bring you the money, all right, to the Thrive Leadership Club. So put it in the chat, Anna. Put in the chat, what school do you attend? With everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. I know you wanted to win it. We'll have some more other virtual sessions in the future, and then hopefully you can join us, all right? But it's been a pleasure. Have a good, amazing weekend. Rest up, y'all. We'll see you later. Peace out.